Hi, hello to you both, Meeri and Jeremy. Thank you so much for being there. Meeri, could you tell us where you're joining us from?
Calling from Espoo, Finland at the moment. Great to be here.
Lovely. And Jeremy, I presume you're joining in from Scotland, right?
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. And indeed, it's a pleasure to be joining you from sunny Scotland today.
Greetings from snowy Helsinki there. So let's start the discussion with you guys. Please tell us first, what have been your respective roles in this project? Maybe Jeremy, you can go first.
Sure, thanks. So as head of AI, I lead the implementation of Scotland's AI strategy, which is children's rights at its very core. And in particular, we want to give citizens in Scotland, including children, real trust and agency over how AI and algorithms are used in the public sector. And obviously, this is a really complex question. There are no, off-the-shelf, ready-made solutions that we could buy to do this. And so this is why we have launched this particular project using what we call a CIFTech challenge to co-develop with the private sector solutions to this problem. And so we are now in the accelerator phase of the project, and we are working with Meeri at Saidot towards a minimum viable product, which we will present at the CIFTech Demo Day on the 8th of February.
Great. Meeri, could you tell us what has been your role in this work?
Yeah, that was quite nicely introduced already there. So we had really an honor to be chosen by the Scottish government to this CIFTech challenge, or to solve the challenge together with the government. So I'm leading our team from Finland, building a solution for this. We're leveraging the work that we have been doing with City of Amsterdam, Helsinki, and other government or public organizations in this space for some time already, and then co-developing it with the Scottish government further, especially focusing on the ways, like Alicia raised, how important it is to bring the voice of children, youth, and all the stakeholders to table. So focusing really on that angle here.
Good. Jeremy, you've been one of the first ones in adopting the new guidance. How did you end up being the early adopters in the first place?
So I suppose children are really a key priority for our country and our government. And actually earlier this year, the Scottish Parliament voted unanimously for the incorporation of the UNCRC into Scottish law. So as we develop our strategy in AI, we recognize quite early that AI presents specific challenges, but also opportunities for children. So we explore those issues in detail by conducting child rights and well-being assessment, which is a tool that has to be used for every new Scottish government policy or legislation. And this tool helps us ensure that our policies respect the rights of children as defined in the UNCRC, and also improve children's well-being in line with the Scottish approach of getting it right for every child. And we did not want to reinvent the wheel, so we spoke with experts such as UNICEF, the World Economic Forum, and the Five Rights Foundation in the UK. And as a result of those discussions, we decided to adopt the UNICEF's policy guidance on AI in children alongside the OECD AI principles.
Right. How are you engaging with children in Scotland, Jeremy? What is your approach there?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've just mentioned that, we've been speaking with experts, but of course, we also ask families and children themselves. So in addition to the online public consultation over the strategy, we commissioned an organization called Democratic Society to undertake a series of public engagement activities. And this included workshops to increase participation from young people. And I think our youngest participant was age 12. And at the same time, Democratic Society developed some free and easily accessible online materials, including some reusable resources for educators, for parents, guardians working with different age groups. But what we want to do now is to go beyond those initial conversations and ensure that citizens, including children, have a say over how strategy is going to be implemented over the next 5 years. So we're going to be collaborating with the Children's Parliament, who've done some amazing work on getting children's input into our climate assembly this year, and also the Alan Turing Institute, who have led one of the pilots of the UNICEF guidance in order to build a mechanism to sustain meaningful engagement over time. So this is our approach.
Really nice. Meeri, if we do go into more detail with you, could you please tell us more about the work Saidot has done and is doing in this project?
Yeah, so it all starts from helping the government AI teams, and they're as everyone can imagine, there are a lot of different teams working on this kind of technologies in government organizations. So we take into use our platform, AI governance platform, together with those teams, and they're basically help in practice these teams to apply a systematic governance for each of their AI project. As part of that methodology, we have actually implemented on our platform specifically AI-focused child rights impact assessment, which builds on the UNICEF policy guidelines. So we are hands-on applying this guideline into the pilot projects that we are working with the Scottish government. Another perspective is then when the teams have applied the governance and really done the impact assessment of their AI systems and build that also documentation and transparency on their aims with the projects, then comes into picture what we call citizen AI reviewer community. And that's a concept of having a specific community of children, caretakers, teachers, people impacted with these technologies, and allowing them to or really involving them to the process from concept testing to a little bit further on to give different kinds of feedback on these systems and really also hear that and adjust what is aimed, how the technology will be implemented in government side. So this policy guidance will be very, very important practical tools to not only assess the impacts in the government side, but also for then the reviewer community to provide feedback on the government technologies.
Right, as you point out, we are all definitely needed when it comes to advancing children's rights in the digital age and within AI as well. What do you think, in general, what does cooperation mean in this work, or why is it necessary when it comes to ensuring better AI for children? What do you think, Jeremy?
Again, it's a really good question. I mean, in Scotland, from a government perspective, we see the public sector as having a key role in leading by example, in terms of what we want AI to be. And we are working in partnership with universities and the private and the third sector to tackle the really difficult challenges, including those related to children. So, for instance, we fund the Data for Children collaborative between the UNICEF and the University of Edinburgh, which made a key contribution to the UNICEF recent report that showed that 1 billion children worldwide are at extremely high risk of the impacts of climate change. We also funded an AI challenge to tackle the climate emergency 2 years ago, to explore with the private sectors the many ways AI can be used to be part of the solution to this emergency, which concerns us all, but particularly children. So I would say that this project we are now working on with Meeri really continues that spirit of collaboration. As government, we do not have all the answers, and we are really calling on everyone who's willing to help to ensure that the way AI is developed and adopted in Scotland benefits children and respects their rights.
Right. Meeri, is there something you'd like to add here about the cooperation?
Just want to echo the importance of public sector as an enabler of innovation in these kind of areas where we are talking about social change and large societal impacts. It's interesting that in the area of responsible AI and AI ethics, government sector is actually the the leading pioneering sector, and it's a very important role. But collaboration is also, I think, when we talk about responsible AI or ethical AI, I think it's a necessity, almost like by definition, when we seek to develop systems which are in good alignment with the values of the community that will be impacted by this technology. So it's almost impossible to think about developing responsible AI systems without strong collaboration aspect. So that's really what this challenge and our solution with the Scottish government is about, essentially to bring that alive and enable it across all the projects implemented.
Exactly. We are here definitely to learn from your experiences. Maybe to sum up the discussion with you, Jeremy, what would you say, what have been the greatest challenges in this work?
So I think, again, from a public sector perspective, but I think that applies in other sectors, I think one of the first challenges is to give organizations the confidence and the support that they need to take the first step. AI can be seen as something really daunting just by itself. So I had to make it work for children, even more so. So we found that this collaborative approach has been a really effective way to bring together, the technical expertise with the non-technical expertise. And we're currently working with education and children's services agencies in Scotland to really start using AI to improve children's lives.
Exactly. Thank you so much, and I think we've built a lot of encouragement from your thoughts and experiences to do the same in other countries, maybe in the future. Perfect. Thanks for sharing your experiences and insights, both Meeri and Jeremy. It was really lovely to have you here with us today. Thank you so much.